Hello and welcome back to the channel, friends. Today I'd like to talk about just what the F Destruction AllStars is, and a little bit about the developers that make the game. Destruction AllStars came out February 2nd, 2021. It's developed by Lucid Games, which is made up of developers from Bizarre Creations. Originally they came up with the Project Gotham Racing series, and the last title under Bizarre Creations was Blur, which is like a Mario Kart racing Need for Speed type game. Lucid Games co-created Need for Speed Payback with Ghost Games in 2017, and in 2018 created their first console title in Switchblade. Destruction AllStars is currently free through PlayStation Plus until April 5th and is exclusive to the PlayStation 5. So, what is Destruction AllStars all about? Well, bash, dash, wreck, and smash in 4 multiplayer modes, 3 single-player modes, and learn the parkour and breakers of 16 different characters, each with skins and emotes at launch. The multiplayer modes include Mayhem, a free-for-all 16-player destruction derby type wreckfest, where the goal is to obtain as many points as possible by attempting to wreck rival players. Gridfall, a free-for-all mode that pits 16 players against each other, while the arena falls apart below them. The last one standing wins the entire thing. Carnado, an 8v8 mode where teams rack up points by damaging opposing players, wrecking other cars, and depositing the points into the Carnado at the center of the stage. Team with the most racked points wins. Stockpile is an 8v8 mode where 2 teams battle for gears. Each time a player is wrecked, they drop gears. The player of the opposite team must exit their vehicle to claim the gears and bank them at one of the 3 control points on the map. Winner is the team with the most control points at the end of the match. The single-player modes include Arcade, which allows you to play any of the above-mentioned modes on your choice of map and difficulty against bots. Challenge Series is a series of game modes against bots that is rated by performance. Each challenge is unlocked by spending the game's premium currency, DP, or destruction points, and appears to be for a specific character. Challenge Series is unfortunately the only way in the game to get story or cutscenes or character interactions. The fact that it's behind a paywall means that not every person who plays the game is going to get to experience this content. Hopefully in the future they allow some of it to be free so that people can actually get to know these characters a bit more. The final mode is a practice mode that allows you to learn the rules of the game and train against bots. The characters include Ultimo, with a vehicle called the Undisputed. His vehicle has a breaker that fortifies the front of it, and it has a shield that blocks incoming damage. His personal breaker makes him immune to knockouts from all All-Stars and vehicles. Genesis has a vehicle called Callisto. It has a breaker ability that moves at super speeds and achieves higher damage. Her personal breaker allows her to run much faster than anyone else in the game. Lupita in her vehicle, Wildfire, has the breaker ability to deploy a trail of fire behind it, lighting vehicles and all-stars aflame that touch the fire. Her personal breaker is very similar in that it leaves a fire trail and ignites vehicles and all-stars. Shift and his vehicle, Cypher, have the ability to cloak, becoming completely invisible. When Shift uses his personal breaker, it removes him from radars. Blue Fang and his vehicle, Shredder, which has the breaker ability to tear through anything it touches. While using his personal breaker, he can knock down other All-Stars. Box Top and their vehicle, the Boxmobile. While active, the Boxmobile's breaker will deploy box top drones on top of other vehicles and later does damage. Their personal breaker deploys parcels that help out teammates and knock down opponents. Fuego and his vehicle Cerberus, which activates flamethrowers in order to burn enemies who come into contact with it. His personal breaker allows him to leave pools of fire after using his barge attack. Hannah and her vehicle Saber, which has an unbreakable blade that can slice vehicles in half if slammed. Her personal breaker makes her strong enough to knock out another all-star in one barge. Ratu and her vehicle Barong, which charges up a large area of effect blast by damaging opponents. Her personal breaker sends out a large concussion blast which knocks down all other all-stars in the vicinity. Angelo Avello and his vehicle Number 1 allows him to lock onto a target and do more damage to that target. His personal breaker allows him to disorient any enemy's vision caught in it. Twinkle Riot and her vehicle Mr. Sparkles, which puts up bumpers that pulse when they hit an enemy. This scales with the power of the hit. Her personal breaker allows her to barge repeatedly. Jian and their vehicle Morningstar, which can deploy mini spikes all around it, protecting it from attacks while doing lots of damage. Their personal breaker allows them to place a group of proximity mines which damage vehicles and knock down opponents on foot. Harmony and her vehicle Crescendo, which has a breaker that uses supersonic speakers to blast those in range of it. Her personal breaker allows her to shoot waves when barging that can hit other All-Stars at a distance. Xander and his vehicle Zero, which picks an enemy and marks them. It does more damage to the target and gains rewards for taking them out. Xander's personal breaker allows him to see enemies, teammates, and objectives through walls while dropping hazards. Muna and her vehicle Gravitron uses a magnetic field to attract the scrap metal in the arena, which creates a shield. Her personal breaker generates a field that attracts pickups and activates traps. The final character is Sergeant Rescue. His vehicle is Smoke Commander, which covers the vision of enemies in a cloud of smoke. His personal breaker does something similar in that it leaves a cloud of smoke that obscures vision. Destruction AllStars is free until April 5th through PlayStation Plus. I'm not entirely sure whether or not it's going to be a premium game and that it'll be $70, which is the price of a PlayStation 5 title at full price, or if it's going to be free or, less than that. It has a premium currency called Destruction Points, which can be used to purchase emotes, skins, and challenge series levels. From what I can tell, the developers have said that the future maps and modes will be free, and they have plans for a roadmap that spans between now and more than a year from now. Personally, I think it's a really fun game, and I think that if the developers continue to add new characters, mechanics, maps, and modes, it can turn into something really big. The game itself has launched in a pretty bare bones state. There's only a handful of modes, and if you really look at it, there's the same modes repeated in that there's the arcade mode, which allows you to play against bots, but also the training mode and the multiplayer mode, which all include all of the same modes inside of them. All in all, you're playing the same modes over and over, whether or not you're online against bots or training. I think it's a really fun experience, and I think that the developers have something really special on their hands. There's not very many games that are all about the destruction of cars. It's usually a main focus on racing, or like Rocket League, it's a main focus on the actual soccer sports part. Killing people doesn't give you any points in Rocket League. As long as Destruction AllStars leans into this and continues to give unique experiences, I think that it's carved its own way within the car game niche. I'm not even sure what genre to place it in. My ultimate hopes for them, though, is that Sony sees that they're very dedicated to their console, and that in the future they give Twisted Metal to these developers, because I think they could do really, really well with a Twisted Metal game. But with that said, I leave it open to you. What do you think about Destruction AllStars? Did it live up to your expectations? Have you tried it out? Are you going to pick it up when you get a PS5? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any questions about just what the F Destruction AllStars is, let me know. Till next time.